Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So, interesting news today. If, like me, you've been heavily into Blankos Block Party. So this is a game in open beta at the moment. It's got a user-generated content world with these kind of cool character NFTs. And for the last, I don't know, it's been like 2 months or so, the marketplace, basically where you can sell your NFTs, trade NFTs, buy and sell, has been open for certain people, invite only. So I've been kind of checking it out. Been pretty interesting to look at some of the pricing and maybe do some bit of trading as well. But now we're kind of getting to the stage now that we've been hoping for a long time, where basically access is opened up. So the kind of it comes in two parts as these things tend to do. So they're calling it now Mythical Marketplace enters extended alpha. So now we are seeing anyone with a valid Blankos account can access the marketplace. And that means all players anywhere in the world supported by Blankos can now buy NFTs. It's a bit harder when it comes to selling, because selling means if you're selling NFTs, then you'll want to cash out to, potentially you might want to cash out to your bank account or fiat account. So there are some issues around that. Blankos is using a kind of third-party provider, so obviously they have to sort of go through those legal kind of issues. So at the moment, the only people who can cash out are US, UK, Canada, and Germany. So Germany is the new option for people who want to sell out. Who basically, this allows people who want to sort of trade and invest maybe quite a lot of money and do it as a sort of business. Now they can now do that. For other people, if you wanted to sort of buy and sell but keep your money in the system, you can still do that. You could do that, I suppose. Anyway. The interesting bit here is all players globally have access to buying now. So we're kind of seeing the first stage of it. So people can now come in. Obviously, it's not quite so exciting. The people don't want to necessarily come in. Some people will want to come in and buy things they haven't got. So that's fine. We won't really see the full ramifications of people and how the marketplace will work until you have the opportunity to buy and sell. Because that is where people go, well, I can buy this, and maybe I can sell something, sell that on again, or maybe in the case of say like me, I've got. I might want to buy lower serial number Blankos and sell off my higher serial ones. You might want to sort of optimize your collection in that sense. So there's a lot of different things that go on there. But this is kind of cool to see. And we're saying the marketplace will be open globally to everyone to buy and sell later this summer, whatever summer means, I guess, kind of August, September. Another interesting thing here is support for cryptocurrency. So at the moment you can, I've not actually done it myself, but you can buy with cryptocurrency, and they're going to add crypto payouts in late September and crypto payments in October. Actually, yeah, okay, so you can't pay with crypto. I think through the shop you can pay with crypto, but not through the marketplace. I think that's right. Okay, so they're going to add crypto. So hopefully by the end of October, the marketplace will be sort of crypto engaged, so we can just kind of buy and sell without using our credit cards, which is super cool. And also, this is also useful for those of us who are ETH fans. They're going to launch a bridge. So basically just means a technology where you can take your NFT, Blanko NFTs, which actually runs on a customized version of the EOS blockchain. And they're going to build a bridge that then allows you to take those NFTs and put them on the Ethereum mainnet. So the Ethereum mainnet is the most secure kind of blockchain out there at the moment, and the most open blockchain. And as soon as you get stuff out onto the Ethereum blockchain, people can do sort of crazy things with it, like fractionalize it or rent it, or lots of cool things you can do that are built on Ethereum. So if you can get the NFTs from one blockchain onto the Ethereum blockchain, then it opens up a whole bunch of possibilities, particularly for people who are kind of more sort of a blockchain experience. So that's sort of really great, and it's also probably more secure that we can take if there are. I mean, there are some very expensive Blankos NFTs, certainly some that are thousands or tens of thousands, maybe even some that would be worth millions in future. And you might want to hold those on if you have a good sort of security system for Ethereum holding. If you have a kind of a hardware wallet that you're very kind of comfortable with, you might want to hold those expensive assets on that rather than in what is currently sort of a what we call a what's the word I'm after? Custodial wallet. So custodial wallet means that the Blankos people sort of hold the keys for it. So this is pretty interesting stuff. But I did want to go into a bit more detail and actually kind of see. So this has just happened now. So can we see any price velocity? Because I'm going to show you a graph, then of course we can see price velocity. Otherwise, I wouldn't show you the graph. Okay, so this is my big spreadsheet. I've been kind of noting down the prices of all the different Blankos because I'm weird like that. And we can see here, I've just done this. This is checking the price of today and yesterday. So we've opened up now. Anyone can come in and buy these Blankos, and now Germans can sell as well. So have we seen any change? Well, actually, for some Blankos, the price has actually gone down. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail on all this sort of stuff, but for 3 Blankos, the price has actually gone down. For a lot of them, the price hasn't changed, but for some of them, we can see kind of for these 4 here, we've seen the price more than double, or more than double. And what this tends to be is these are the more iconic ones, like Billy Bones. We can have a look at those, and these are also ones that have. This is the total supply. So this number here. This column is how many of those NFTs there are. The total supply of those NFTs. So there are only 400 Kasumis. It's one of the lowest kind of minting runs they had. And the price of that has gone from $325 to $595. So obviously, there may be other reasons to own things rather than just the total number out there. But obviously, the fewer there are, basic thinking is they're going to be more expensive unless they look absolutely hideous. Another interesting one, that these 2 here, Glittergoth and Menace, were actually quite short supply. They were released around Halloween last year. And it's always been interesting to me that the pricing never seemed sort of right on them. They always seemed very cheap for the lack of supply. We can see in both cases they've doubled or more than doubled the price, and so interesting to see. I can actually let's actually have a quick look at some graphs now. So actually, before we get onto the graphs, I forgot. Let's have a quick look at what trading's going on here. So this sort of shows us the trading going on. So this is the latest ask is what people are putting on for sale. Not so interesting really. The Frostbite for $50,000. Number 2 though. There we go. Interesting that people are sort of maybe it's a German person who can now add that on because it can now sell. But let's have a quick look at what's being bought. And what's really interesting here is if we see this is the wallet. So this is from one account to another account. So we're seeing quite a lot of activity. The activity is much bigger than it was a couple of days ago. But we're looking to see sort of what's being bought, and we can see what price here. But now we can see sort of we can start to see patterns about sort of these wallets here. Look like they're buying up, so there's 2 for each of those. These CD638 and CDB3A. So we can see here these are definite, I would say, sort of speculator type people. They're coming in and they're buying stuff up. We can see they're buying actually quite a lot, and they're buying not just Blankos, they're buying accessories as well. So they probably I would say seem to have a clue sort of what they're doing, and actually they keep buying. This one here's bought 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can start to see some of these kind of I don't know exactly what we call them, sort of investors are now coming in and buying up a whole bunch of stuff, and they're sort of increasing sort of the market actually. So we start to see now. This is all now 1 hour. So previously you wouldn't have had this much in the day probably, and now we can just see people who think they can make money are coming in and they're buying up quite a lot of stock, so that's sort of driving prices. Okay, let's go back and have a look at the graphs. Okay, this is a sort of horrible mess of lines, I suppose, but basically what you're seeing here is each one of these. It's not all the Blankos, but it's well, you can see there's loads more there. But basically, it's all the Blankos that are under $1,000 as their floor price at the moment. So you can kind of see here, this is over the month of sort of July into August now. You can see here, some of them stay exactly the same. Some of them sort of go up and down. So there has been some movement, but not a lot. But we can kind of see here, this is obviously this is the change that's happened in the last day or so. So we can see pretty much the majority of these Blankos NFTs have had sort of fairly significant changing in price. I should say this is a log scale. So we're going, each one of these is jumping up by a factor of order of magnitude, factor of 10. So we can see, so there's some very big, sort of jumps. I mean, still some as we've seen sort of going down, but we can kind of see basically everywhere, and certainly down this sort of lower end. So this is the sub $50 mark. Pretty much all of them have jumped up fairly significantly. Obviously, that sort of makes it. That's exactly what we'd expect. Suddenly, thousands more people are allowed access to this thing. They can't sell, so they can't drive the price down. All they can do is buy, so the price has to go up. So we may see something different when everyone's allowed to start selling, and we have a lot more supply sort of coming onto the market. That'll be interesting to see. But certainly, people are buying at the moment, and obviously this is just sort of the first day. So over time, more people will sort of get involved, I suppose, as the news sort of filters through. And in this graph here, I've sort of broken down some of the seasons. So every Blanko release has been sort of a season. So there's basically like sort of chronology of when Blankos have been released. So I've not done all of them because some of the very early ones are like super expensive. So I've not put those ones in. We can see here. So we have early access is where we are at the moment. What they call early access. So this is basically averaging the price of all the Blankos in here. You have to be careful with averages because even in this scenario, some of these are maybe worth $400 and some of them are worth kind of $30. So be careful with averages. When this average sort of jumps up here, that's when a new sort of Blanko is released into the early access that was expensive. So you kind of see there's some sort of movement around. But basically what we're looking at here is what happens sort of in this period of time. So we can see pretty much all of these sort of jump up. The open beta ones not so much, but we can see here private beta ones jump up, and then the kind of the kind of more rare alpha ones obviously they're worth more in general, and they see sort of similar kind of jump. So in this case now the alpha ones have never been, as a group, have never been more expensive. The early access ones, there was sort of a weird thing here happened. I think this was when Professor Mewington's released. I can't remember. And there was a sort of special edition one came out here, so it sort of drove the price up. Or it could have been the Sergeant Poppy could have come out there, which is one you earn out, but there's very few, about 400 of them, so they got very expensive. So that drove the whole thing up. But we can see here, there is a clear kind of inflection point, I guess you would say. Obviously, over the next few days, we'll see how far that goes up, or whether it comes to another plateau. These things, you can see, tend to get to a state and then sort of plateau out. And obviously that's what happened with any situation. But at the moment we're in this interesting scenario where people are being allowed to do this for the first time, and also when buying comes in, that may add some downward pressure, because people are now, when selling is added, people may start to try and sell out their collection. So you may suddenly have a whole bunch of, you'd expect a whole bunch of people putting their Blankos on sale, and that tends to drive the price down. But equally, you can then find people sort of coming in investment mode and waiting for prices to go down, buying up a lot, and then reselling. So you sort of, it becomes more chaotic. So anyway, that's what's going on with Blankos. Definitely keeping an eye on that, because I'm very keen on Blankos, of course. But we cover everything. We cover pretty much all blockchain games on this channel. So if you're interested in other sorts of games, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching this one, and see you again soon.